Yes team, welcome back to the channel. For those that are new around here, this is a channel devoted to triathlon, Hyrox, running, ultra running, and pretty much everything in between. But less so just specifically about those different disciplines. I'm also about using them, right, as a vehicle. Using them as a vehicle to live the best possible life that you can live. Being fitter and healthier, not only for you, but so you've got more clarity and energy at work, and also are basically just an all-round better person for your family. For those that don't know who I am, my name's Tom. I am a dad first and foremost, a would-be athlete, although at the ripe age of 42. I am still getting after it and just getting after hard shit every single year. I'm also an army veteran, and I am a coach. And this episode of what I have called the Down Chronicles is all about New Year, New Me. Right, we've all heard about New Year, New Me, and every single year, many different people will pick the new year as a starting point to get themselves in shape or to start to inculcate a new sort of positive habit in their life. And then every year people fail. New Year's resolutions and all of that. And I want to get into a little bit of specificity as to one of the major reasons that happens. And I'm going to start by saying up front, like, I used to properly poo-poo the idea of New Year, New Me. I used to scoff at it. I was like, if you haven't sorted yourself out for the whole year, the chances are you're just not going to be able to do it again. And the gyms, well, by February, they'll all be empty again. And I used to scoff at it. However, my attitude, I'm quite embarrassed about that as well, particularly considering what I do for a living. But I've learned, right, and I've sort of grown a little bit, and I don't poo-poo the idea now, because ultimately anything, literally anything that gets someone investing in their own physical well-being, which I believe is absolute paramount to everything, right? Your physical well-being, your physical fitness is paramount. It should be a central pillar to your life because it helps everything. Like, I served in the army for 22 years, and ultimately every course, whether that be an academic course or a physical course, every decision that you're having to make in a high pressure environment is just made easier when you aren't absolutely hanging out of your hoop in those situations anyway. So I firmly believe that your physical well-being needs to be an absolute priority. And anything that is going to get you moving, anything at all, has to be deemed a positive. So whether that be, a particular birthday, whether that be a bereavement, whether it be a promotion at work, whether it be a demotion at work, like a loss in a race, an injury, an experience where you're chasing your kids around and you realise that you're just a little bit too out of breath. Like, all of these things could be taken as a negative, but I think we should be using them as a positive, and so it is with New Year, New Me. And it is a marker. People can set out to see how well they can do in the next year. But the problem with New Year, New Me is that when people attack it, they really, really, really go for it, right? And I know that might sound counterintuitive, but when you really go for something, you place this expectation on yourself that you're going to be absolutely perfect. You place this expectation that I'm going to work out every single day, and I'm going to drink 4 litres of water, and I'm going to get 20,000 steps. And you just put this massive expectation on yourself, and you might keep it up for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months. You might keep it up, but at some point you are going to miss. At some point you are going to miss. And if you put such a massive expectation on yourself, when you do miss, which is inevitable, you are likely going to start to tell yourself that you're a failure. And everyone else will all of a sudden forget all of the incredible things that you've done in that last, couple of weeks or month or whatever it is. And they will say, Matt, told you, new year, new me doesn't work. And that will fill you with even more self-doubt. And you are then going to just fucking crumble. And you are going to tell yourself that you can't do it. And ultimately you will lose confidence. And confidence, when lost, is very difficult to regain again. So I want to give you a couple of things now that you can do to set yourself up for success, right? New year, new me can be a fantastic mechanism, but it doesn't have to be new year, completely new me. And set yourself such a high expectation that is just unmanageable, it's unsustainable, all right? So when it comes to, and I talk about within my coaching program, the base enablers, right? That's what I call the base enablers, right? And they are they sit below the training, okay? So they're talking about hydration, sleep, nutrition, general activity, and then stress management, right? And then all of those are an enabling component for your training, right? Now, when it comes to those base enablers, they, as an accumulation over time, are so important. So important. They like, the name suggests, they enable absolutely everything. But if you set yourself this expectation that you're going to be perfect in every single one of those areas, you're setting yourself up for a fail. So instead, just pick one or two really small positive actions that you can actually sustain, right? So when it comes to hydration, all right, I know for a fact, it's proven that hydration is an absolute key component, right? That's why it's within my base enablers. And 3 litres of water is, for most people, and it will vary, is about the minimum you should be drinking every single day. And that's outside of the water that you consume when you're training. But instead of just setting yourself this target of, I will drink 3 litres of water every single day, and then probably not tracking that, just say that you're going to drink a glass of water before you have your morning coffee. And tick it off. Get a little whiteboard on the fridge or something. Just tick it off. Because that's something that you can prove to yourself that you can do over and over and over again. When it comes to your sleep, set yourself a bedtime and then say, of the 7 nights of the week, I will go to bed on time for 3 of them, maybe 4 of them. Set yourself a bedtime and just say, I'm going to go to bed on time 3 nights a week, and then record it and tick them off. When it comes to your general activity, you're getting your steps in, right? Don't think, I need to hit 10,000. Just understand what you're hitting now. And if that's 8,000, go for 8,200 and just try to be that little bit better, but then record it. When it comes to your stress management, one of the key areas that we can work on when it comes to stress management is scheduling and understanding where we're going to fit stuff in. And this is where you can link it with your training. And this is the last thing I'm going to talk about. Telling yourself that you're going to do training 7 days a week and then not doing that, because why the fuck would you? Because you haven't done it up until now, is just setting yourself up for failure. So instead, set yourself a target of 2 sessions a week and 3 40-minute walks. And then get those done. Just do them every single week for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Just do them. Get them done. Solidify that behavior, right? And then build that confidence. And one of the ways to do that comes with stress management, and that is to schedule them in. Get them in your diary. Get them in your work calendar as well, because that's mostly the diary that we maintain, right? Get it in your work calendar, right? And just remove the decision. I am working out at that time because that's the time I have stated. And then you go and do it and you prove it to yourself. So when it comes to New Year, New Me, don't jump on the bandwagon of thinking New Year, New Me means overhauling absolutely every single element of your life and being absolutely perfect in all of those elements, because you're just setting yourself up for a failure. Instead, just make things sustainable, right? Reduce the actions down to something that you can sustainably do, track them, and then just repeat over and over again. New Year, New Me is not dead, right? New Year, New Me is not something that we should be laughing at because people are trying to better themselves. It's a really good tool, but when you take it seriously, that doesn't mean thrashing yourself 7 days a week and then just pretending this is your new identity, because I promise you now, it just won't take. Instead, like I say, reduce it. Reduce it to some sustainable actions and then just get after them. And that's it. I mean, ultimately, only you are going to know whether or not you can sustain the actions that you set. And then you got to prove it to yourself. And if you want some help with it, you know what to do. I'm not going to repeat it here, all right? But make sure you do all the like, subscribing, and all of that other guff that people say on YouTube. Have a wonderful rest of the year, all day of it. And I will see you on the other side.